I promised my first interview would be with myself. So I posted a question on Facebook, and it said, if I was going to interview myself in my own podcast, what would you have me ask myself? This is the result.
Let's make love to the beauty of the lives we've yet to live, and bathe in the creation of the gifts we're bound to give. It's enough to sit and listen, it's enough to say.
Welcome, Laura Christine. I'm very happy to have you here. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here too. Thanks for the invitation. So the first question is from Lonnie Kwan. She's an amazing coach, and her book is Creating Co-Powerment. And Tanya Fukuda, financial advisor with a conscience, also said she would ask the same question. The question is, what is the meaning of life? I believe the meaning of life, truly it is different for everybody, but what about right now? Just right now. This moment. That's your meaning of life. This moment, right now. What's happening? Where are you? Where are you right now? So, have fun with that one, guys. Wow, okay. So, the next question is from Queena Tahi, 808 Business Moms. She is amazing and so inspirational. Her question that she'd like me to ask myself is, how do you define way shower? Ooh, Queena, that's an awesome question. Define way shower. And I will say that there's no real description of what a way shower is gonna look like, but so a way shower is somebody who's come to earth to show the way of light and love and truth and conscience. So a way shower holds him or herself in integrity with their own light of conscience, with the truth that they believe. And it's a big truth, like connected. It's a truth that, I believe, and then somebody across the world believes, because we're both connected to that light of conscience, which is the connection between everybody. So way showers understand that connection on some level, and they're here to show it. That's what a way shower is. Thank you, Queena. You are a way shower, by the way. As is the next questioner, Olivera Milokovic. I think I said that right. I'm not too sure. I know I said Olivera right. She asks, and by the way, she is a awakened midlife coach. So, super powerful. All of these things are going to be in the show notes. So if you're like, what's an awakened midlife coach? Just check the show notes and definitely look her up. Her question: how does someone live when they are aware of the light of conscience within them? And she wants me to give an everyday example. So I can definitely do both. How does somebody live? Honestly, how they live is going to be different for everybody, because when we're connected to our own light of conscience, it's going to guide us in the direction that we're meant to go. But I can tell you how they feel. And I think also the effect that they have on others. So if you're aligned with your light of conscience, you feel free. You feel like you are unrestricted and unbound. You feel like your life, it's almost like you're free and that you're always guided by something greater than yourself. But it's not as though it's giving you like rules or you should do this or you have to do this. It's just showing you the way that's the best for you, and it feels so light and so beautiful, and it helps others, and it helps the earth, and it helps animals, and it helps yourself, really. And that's how they feel. And an everyday example, super easy for me to show you, because my husband, who on the surface looks so different than me, or somebody who, is really into spiritual teachings and courses and yoga and all of that. But his alignment with his own light of conscience is so potent. So whenever we're walking outside in a hike or at the beach, if he sees a piece of trash, he picks it up. And I am telling you, not like if he sees a piece of trash at his feet, he'll pick it up. Well, he will. But no, if he looks to the side and there's a really deep ditch with a creek in it, and it's steep, AF, he will go down that very steep and slippery slope to pick up a piece of plastic. I'm not kidding. Or a beer bottle or a Coke can or whatever it may be, he will do it. That is, to me, that's just living in your light of conscience. Like, you see something you can make a little bit better, and you do. So, thank you, Olivera. And from my friend Noe Johnson, who is not only a realtor here on Oahu, but she also is a massage therapist, and she does access bars, energy healing, amazing stuff. She asks, do you believe in infinite possibilities? That is an awesome question, and I have to say that yes, absolutely. I believe that infinite possibilities is the reality of this plane and every plane. I also believe that it's easy to block the infinite possibilities of being or becoming. And that's okay. That's just one of the infinite possibilities that is there. So that's an awesome question. And I believe that the more we open to the fact that, yeah, there are the possibilities for this moment are infinite, then we open to our lives being fuller and more than we could even imagine. So I know that one of the phrases from Access Consciousness is, how does it get any better than this? And you say that when it's really crappy, and you say that when it is the best that you think it can be. Because when you say, it can't get any better than this, then why would the universe show you that actually it can, when you're telling it that this is it, this is the limit? No. How does it get any better than this? That's what I want to know. So universe, show me. All right, thank you, Noe. Another friend of mine, Crystal Arnold, over in Ashland, Oregon, maybe not anymore, maybe a town near it, but that's where I met her. She has been podcasting for a long time, and I could tell by the questions that she asked me to ask myself. And I will say, too, that I did not prepare before interviewing myself. I had the questions, obviously, but I didn't sit and contemplate and say how would I answer this one? But these I sat with today, and honestly, I didn't want to ask all of them because I'm not actually sure how I'm going to answer them. So, with no further ado, from Crystal Arnold, Money Metamorphosis. She is a money coach, and her podcast is Money Wise Women, with the tagline, True Wealth and Feminine Finance. So definitely look her up too. Her first question is, what do you find most exciting about the work you do? Love it. The most exciting thing for me is when I see the flip of the switch in people. And I'm not talking about they didn't realize something and then they realized it and it was like an aha, which it can look like. But what I'm talking about is what happened to me years ago when I was kind of freaking out about what I should do. Should I transfer? I don't know if I want to stay at this college that I'm at, and I don't know if I want to go to Pennsylvania because this guy I like is over there and I could transfer, and oh my gosh, and I was so young too, my God, I was 19 or 20 or something, but I was freaking out, and I just don't know what to do. And my mom looked at me and she said, Laura, maybe you're not supposed to know what to do. And at that moment, it was like I just figured out that I don't have to know everything. So it was like what happened was my nervous system was just amped, right? Just freaking out, panicking a little bit. And then it just stopped. It just stopped. I mean, it didn't stop. It was still, working. But it relaxed. I just felt this calm wash over me. And then a few years later, same thing happened the first time I was at a yoga class. I had a yoga class where it had been moved from the dance studio to the kind of, not the middle of the rec center, but in the midst of the rec center at my college in a racquetball court. So everything was just really, really echoey and loud. And we heard all the sounds from the outside just bouncing around the walls in there. But I have to tell you, I didn't even notice that. The only reason I can tell you that was happening is because everybody else in that class, my first time, their not first time, even the teacher, were like, oh my God, that was horrible. That sucked. We are never doing this again. You know, being moved from their calm, quiet little place. I'm sorry, but no. I sat up and I was just like, oh my God. I could literally fall asleep and take on the world at the same time right now. I felt so good. I felt so calm. I felt so empowered. It was, I mean, hello, this is why I teach yoga, because that happens. Yeah, it's amazing. So that's the most exciting thing about what I do is seeing that for other people, because it really, really, I just know how much of a difference it makes in my life, or it has made in my life. Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So here's another question from Crystal. What are you willing to take a stand for? The earth, my friends, the earth and the animals and people. I mean, come on. There's no reason for all the hurt. There's just not. And I am willing to take a stand for animals. They don't hurt well, they do. They eat other animals and stuff. But, they're balanced. They belong here, and we do too. But I don't believe that only one of us belongs here. We all do. And I am willing to take a stand for that. And I'm willing to take a stand for human rights. So, I guess an example, a recent example is in my membership site, Club LC, I do donate 9% of all I earn from that each month to something that benefits and is uplifting and healing and serving the earth. So this time I chose to donate to a National Immigration Justice Center because I don't believe, I believe there's a better way of working with the immigrants right now than we're doing. It just, to me, there's no conscience in it. And I believe very strongly that we can do better. I really do. So thank you, Crystal, for that one. Her third question, what advice do you have for those at the crossroads struggling with their decision to take the heart path? Awesome. Absolutely. Here is one thing that I would say. It's not as much advice as just maybe support or encouragement. You are not alone. I know that path is smaller than the other one you were on. The one where you were in your job or you were at, going to college and getting your degree and finding that job that's going to let you buy your house and maybe buying your house. Okay, that road is really big and there's a lot of people on it. When you turn and take the heart path, it's smaller, but it's way more beautiful. Maybe you're in the woods, or as they say, you're in the wilderness, right? But how much more beauty is in the wilderness than, this is my opinion, of course, but in a big city. There's a lot of beauty there too. I mean, you can definitely find it, but look at nature. Anywhere, look at nature. Look at how beautiful it is. You are not the only person there. It's just that you can't necessarily see the other ones yet because they're so focused on seeing all of their beauty that they're not up and looking around and running around and trying to catch something. My advice to you is this. It's enough to sit and listen. And it's enough to say good try. And what I mean by that, because I don't even believe in the word try, but I wrote it into the song that I use as the intro and outro to this podcast. It is enough to say good try because failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. And when you acknowledge that you are doing your best, and what else is there? This is one of the 4 agreements, right? Always do your best, and your best is going to change from day to day. It is. That's the nature of life. Sit and listen. And what are you listening for? I don't even know. But it is your guidance, and it's your heart, and it's your angels. Maybe it's your animal spirit guides. Just listen. If you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Because it might not be the right time to do something. You'll be inspired when you need to be. My other piece of advice is don't get too judgmental. If you're finding that taking your heart path is leading you to, too much debt or something like that, there's nothing wrong with going out and getting, a quote-unquote normal job. Because that might be your angel investor to help you start whatever it is that you want. And you don't even know how much light you can shine into corporate America or into just a regular job that might be at a smaller company. You have no idea the difference that you can make. So live today. Live today. Every day, live today. And make your decision based on how you feel today. And how you really feel. Not how your emotions are pulling you because you're freaking out. Get back to that space where your switch is flipped, right? Get back to that space where you are calm and centered and free, and listen. And when the time is right to do anything, you will know. That's not easy. So another piece of advice is to reach out. You do have friends, you do have support. If you haven't met anybody on that path yet, join the Facebook group Light of Conscience Community. There are people in there who are on the path, and there you go. That's a start. If you have met people, join the group anyways, because we'd love to have you. And I look forward to having all of you there. All right. That's my advice. And just keep up. You can do it. I know it. I know it. All right, next question. What motivates you to sing and chant? Excellent question, and it is actually different for both. I'll start with chanting. What motivates me to chant is that it works. I know it, and I've experienced it, and I love to do it. But I keep doing it because it works. How does it work? Well, there are 84 meridian points on the top palate of your mouth, and when you chant in a specific rhythm or specific words, you also hit some of those 84 meridian points in a particular rhythm. As you do that, the neurons fire in your brain in a particular rhythm, and you actually change the chemistry of your brain when you chant. The other reason is because the words we are using, this is why we typically chant in a different language, are very high vibrational. The frequency of the words is very high. The words came about when the people who discovered them were in a very transcendental state, very liberated state. And these mantras came to them. So we're kind of working our way up. We're working backwards in a sense. So that's why I chant, honestly. And I love to do it. What motivates me to sing? And by that, I'm considering also, writing the music and singing it and performing it and such and recording it. I don't know. All I know is that I have to. When I write, it's coming from a place that is not my head. It's coming from a place that is connected to eternal source, and it's moving through me to share a message. That being said, I get inspiration from life itself, from maybe a phrase somebody said, from a situation, definitely emotions, because while my music celebrates what it is to be a human, it also does not diminish any aspect of it. So some of my songs are about unrequited love and about heartbreak, but one of them I'm thinking of now, it's called Shattered. Yeah, you can feel shattered, right? But my song says, I'm not broken, I'm alive, shattered. Because what that was about, a Rumi, or not a Rumi, I guess, but a Sufi prayer that is, shatter my heart so that I can make a new room for an infinite love. And we've heard things like this before, like, you have to break your heart open so that it can love more, things like that. So while my songs are elevating, they're not like only unicorns and rainbows. They elevate every aspect of the human experience. And I think that sometimes we miss that in some of our spiritual, practices and festivals and stuff. So that's why I sing. Okay, 2 more questions here. This one was one that I was gonna skip. But here it comes. All right, Laura Christine, imagine the world of your great-grandchildren, and people have taken their heart paths. What will things be like? One reason I wasn't quite sure how to answer this is because I don't think I'm going to have any kids. So if I don't have any kids, I'm not going to have any great-grandchildren either. But I might have children. And guess what? My neighbors and my friends are having children. So I can think about what the world will be like if we all start now taking our heart paths. And honestly, I really wish I could tell you that it was going to be just like this sparkly place with unicorns and rainbows and sparkles, and nobody ever had any pain in their life. But I don't believe that's true. I honestly don't. The world that we live in is a world of duality, and it always will be until it's not a world anymore. So there will be pain, and there will be suffering. However, our capacity to deal with it is going to change. If people start to follow the paths of their hearts, they will stop trying to ignore pain and destruction. They will stop trying to just look the other way and avoid conflict. It will be more accepted. And therefore, it's not going to be as challenging to live here as it is for us right now. There will be more people to show the way of the heart. There will be leaders that live in the light of conscience. Not leaders that point it out to the rest of us because they're so far from it. But we will begin to, as we all align more and more with our light of conscience, we can only create leaders that live from that space. Will there be war? I don't know. I can't tell the future, but I bet there'll be a lot less of it. Will we continue destroying the rainforests? No, not if people are living in the light of conscience, not if people are following the path of their heart, because they'll see how ridiculous it is and how many other options, how many more possibilities there are, because they are infinite. And more people will start to realize that. And more people will start to live like they know it. So I believe it's going to be a beautiful place. That's what I believe. I almost know it. All right, so that's what the world is going to be like. And last question. How did you come into the work you do now? That is a huge question, and I've actually begun to answer it for you. That first yoga class, where I was just like, what? That was amazing. I'm going to go to sleep and take on the world all at the same time right now. That was definitely a trigger for me to do things that felt good to me. And another very, very powerful force in my, I guess, awakening to spirituality and my light is Kundalini Yoga. It really opened me up to all of the infinite possibilities for life. It really opened me up to acceptance of myself. Kundalini Yoga has been really, really critical in my, I guess, advancement in following my own heart path and keeping up with it. It gives you so many tools and exercises and mantras that really just empower you. And it's a self-initiated system. So anybody can do it, and anybody can benefit from it. As far as the Reiki that I do, and as far as the membership site that I do now, and this podcast, we gotta fast forward many years. I had a dream recently, and the dream was this, and this is kind of a cautionary. If you don't like sad things, stop listening now. I was with a group of people, and I think part of them were my family, part of them were my friends. I'm not too sure. Part of them were strangers. It was a dream, so I don't know. But here's what I do know. I've never been this mad in my waking life. We watched a whaling ship kill a whale, and I went absolutely over the top berserk. And I just screamed. I mean, I was so angry, and I was expressing it so much. And I woke up from that dream at that point where I was just flipping out, and my heart was beating, and I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, okay, it was a dream. You can relax, breathe easy. And I knew at that moment I want to do something for the earth and the animals. And I want to use my music to give back. So that was one thing. And then another part was I was reading a book called Oneness by Rasha. And in it, it was stating how important it is to maintain your energy system. And it hit me like, well, why don't I just have a membership site where people can receive Reiki every week? They just pay me a little bit, and then they can maintain their energy system. And it'd be, a group distant send. Well, energy transcends time and space, so that's easy. I've done a lot of distant healings, and they definitely work. And if you send to one person, that's great. If you send to more than one person, it amplifies the energy. So it's not like it's diluting, it's just amplifying. So it's even better the more people in it. And boom. So I just combined all of that. And now I have a membership site where you can get mantras and music and meditations and Reiki. And that will all be in the show notes if you're interested. Thanks for that question. And yeah. So that's, I guess, the interview that I'm having with myself, that I had with myself. It was kind of fun, and I'm actually really looking forward to interviewing other people. And I look forward to seeing you in the Light of Conscience community Facebook group, maybe in the Club LC membership site, maybe just on Instagram. You can follow me at music.laurachristine, and I would definitely love to connect, so send me a message and I'll follow you back. And please feel free to subscribe wherever you're at, and also feel free to ask your friends if they've heard Laura Christine's podcast, The Light of Conscience, because the more we share, the more the world just becomes that brighter place. Thanks so much. Satnam.
It's enough to say I love you. It's enough to say let's try.